Despite being an incredibly low-budget independent film that initially received an NC-17 rating on just language alone, Clerks ended up being a massive success and launching the career of New Jersey's most recognizable filmmaker, Kevin Smith.
I'm not even supposed to be here today!
Now, there were many suggestions for the best film to represent New Jersey in this series, including Friday the 13th, Goodfellas, and Garden State. It really only makes sense to go with a film by Kevin Smith, whose name is as synonymous with New Jersey as Stephen King is with Maine, or John Waters with Maryland. You might recognize Smith as the Silent Bob character he plays in many of his films, like Dogma, Chasing Amy, and, of course, Clerks.
You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude, but they don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you.
Clerks was filmed in the actual store that Smith was working in at the time, and tells the story of a seemingly ordinary day in the lives of two store clerks dealing with the absolute absurdity of retail work, questioning what it means to be a grunt worker who's disrespected by customers, employers, and society altogether.
Well, if your job was as meaningless as theirs, wouldn't you go crazy too?
In a lot of ways, this movie reminds me a lot of Fight Club, where they're both Gen X responses to the promise of being told that you could be anything when you grow up, only to become a grunt worker that no one cares about. But while Fight Club addresses this topic as a societal concern, Clerks takes a more individual approach. Clerks is constantly defining people by their jobs, while also showing us there's so much more to them than just that. This ultimately ends with Dante and Randall realizing that they aren't actually worse or better than any of their customers. And in a way, the success of Clerks proves this very point. Kevin Smith maxed out credit cards, begged people for money, reused family member actors as multiple characters, filmed in the store that he worked at night, and got no sleep for weeks. And by doing all of this to create what he did not know would be a massively successful film, ultimately proves that a random store clerk can have the same passion, luck, and success as anyone else. And tying this back to New Jersey, you normally would see this kind of American dream style success be connected to its proximity to New York City, but that's not really part of this film's story. What I think makes this movie actually a great representation for New Jersey is its realism. This is what it was most critically praised for on its release, not just the funny one-liners that people remember.
It's important to have a job that makes a difference, boys. That's why I manually caged animals for artificial insemination.
It's not this romanticization of gangsters or upper-class New Jersey life. Instead, it's realistic, everyday people in the state with their usual unexaggerated accents, and partially based on a real man's life as a store clerk in New Jersey. The same man who would continue to go on representing his home state for the rest of his career.